All right, everybody. I'm back with a Parenting as a Joke snack. It's Ophira Eisenberg, and I'm here with comedian Mike Cannon, and we are continuing this conversation about how he's doing as a parent of a kindergartner and a new baby. What? Okay. So I have some sort of quick questions for you. You don't have to answer them
Yeah.
quick. I just mean that they're kind of non sequiturs, but we go. So,
Mhm.
second kid. You have this first kid. You're like, this kid is perfect. Does your
Mhm.
wife convince you into it? I mean, you said that the kid basically convinced you into it, but who was there just a
Yeah.
moment of like, "Well, we'll just
I think,
caution?"
there's a real caution. I'm sorry that this is
I
gonna
love
get
it.
graphic, but there's a real sometimes decisions are made under duress. And so and sometimes you're propositioned with an offer you can't refuse. So, when you're in the midst of one of the more satisfying moments of your entire life, use your brains to
We got
connect
it.
the dots. And so, yeah, and somebody says, "Hey, you know where we normally end up? Let's not do it there. Let's do it in where God
Right.
intended." And I'm like, "You got," and then in that moment, I'm like, "Yes, I want a second kid."
Right. Oh, yeah,
And
perfect.
that's
And it's the ultimate plan. Okay. And how do
that's
you
right.
I mean, now that you have a 5-year-old and so you have a little bit of perspective on what the ride is like, how are you in the newborn phase? Do you love the newborn phase? Are you like, "I cannot wait till this kid is walking and talking a little bit more?"
Yeah. I love the now phase. Like 6 months on, I remember why I love that so much and the fact that he's so interactive and he laughs and he's just like he has a real like his personality is really starting to develop. Newborn for me is the most difficult to get through and it's just like being a man during that I can't imagine what it's like for a woman. I'm not even going to try. You're just especially if you're
Right, your body
breastfeeding,
is just
you're
not
just on
yours. Yeah.
call. No, you're a filling station. That's more or less your entire life. And my life was a production assistant. So mine was the non-glamorous go get a
Yeah,
coffee, get this, clean shit, do that. And so I'm happy to do it, of course. And it's something you can't avoid, it's like anything else. But it is the process that I miss the
right,
least.
right. Because it's a different kind of working together. Did you
Totally.
did you have anything that you were like, "You know what? We did this with our first one, but with our second one, we are not doing this."
I'm trying to think. Not yet. I think when it comes to buying toys, that'll
Yeah.
be the big one because the thing that I'm existing in a lot of ways in defiance of my childhood.
I think
So,
a lot of us are,
the
which
fact
I
that
kinda love.
totally, and I think the fact that I never got the toy I wanted or the sneakers I wanted or this has made me like, I'm gonna get all those for you. And I did. And it's not even that he doesn't appreciate them. My son is actually one of the more like he catalogs all his toys. Each and every one of them gets play. I don't know how he spreads his time out like he does, but he does. But I wish I knew about
Oh, yeah.
phases more. Cause I thought every phase was just his
Finite.
life's
Yeah.
calling. Yeah. I was like, oh, you like cars? I guess you're a mechanic. Here's
Yeah.
everything. And then he's like 2 hours later, he's
Oh,
like,
I
what's a
know.
car?
Although,
I'm like, all
I
right.
have a friend who did say to me, it does come back around, and we live in a small apartment, so I'm always like, "What can I throw out?" I love throwing stuff out.
Yeah.
And she was like, like, be a little judicious with that." And Pokemon cards. Once he got into Pokemon cards, it was never really my thing, but I was like, "Whatever,
Yeah.
easy, fun, creative, I don't care." We went crazy with the Pokemon
Mhm.
cards. And then just
Yeah.
you know how much money those fucking Pokemon cards are? It's like a
I'm
racket.
starting to learn.
And then
Yeah. Yeah.
he was uninterested. But then
No
and
kidding.
I was like, "Oh my god," looking at these lunch boxes full of Pokemon cards, like, I'm like, that could have been a Airbnb for a week in Paris."
Right.
And then he's returned
That
to it just now, and I was like, "Okay," so because
oh,
I
that's
was gonna throw
great.
them out. I was gonna throw them out. I was like, "Fuck it. I don't
Mhm.
care."
No, I am keeping certain vintage items for potential resale.
Vintage.
Because I have all the stuff that I had as a kid is now what everybody pays $500 for on
So
eBay.
true.
It's crazy. So I'm like I'm bummed that my mom like gleefully set fire to all of my clothes every summer. She's like, "Well, you'll never want this summer camp that shaped your entire childhood's t-shirts."
Right, okay, traumatizing, I get it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, which is traumatized animal. That's
traumatized
why
animal.
it's that's why the
It's
stuff
funny
is
you
called
say
that.
that too about the vintage stuff because my kid also got into, like, Mutant Ninja Turtles, and once he
Yes.
realized, like, they're the ones that you could just buy, whatever, at Target now, but the way they
Hmm.
used to make the characters in the when it first came out, like, the '80s, probably, I don't know, lead-soaked plastic, I don't know what it is, but it's so much more
Yeah.
intricate and interesting, and the
Oh yeah.
pieces come off in different ways and, like, different hands you
Totally.
could put on, and so we would
No, because they
yeah,
gave a shit. It's like it's made by. I mean, who knows? The plastic definitely might be poisoning all of us, but it is made with plastic that they used to like sheath explosives in. Like you could really like throw this thing against the wall and it wouldn't shatter. But every toy that my kid has is made with like just the outer layer of the toy I used to
right,
own.
right.
So it's just like this fragile piece that I mean we bought this crazy toy for him that he earned the other day. He like went through this whole process of
How did he
earning
earn
this.
it?
He cleaned his whole room like and not just in a, okay, I put all the clothes away, but I'm talking about organized it. Dinosaurs here, space stuff here, sports stuff here, like
I love
alphabetized
your
books, the
kid,
whole
I
thing. Like
love your kid.
really, yeah, he really went after it. And afterwards he's like, "I had a good time, Dad." And I was like, "Bless your heart. You're better than me." And so we went, got the toy, gets in the car, of
Yep.
course, rips it open, breaks the toy the
Oh,
second he
yeah,
gets
we've
it.
been there.
Yeah, and we had to, it's a whole process. It turned out that it was an actual vintage toy, so we had to get it on eBay. It
No!
was like a whole, yeah, it was a whole
Oh,
problem.
you just get ready, when I don't know if you've ever done this is your personality. I'm speaking to my husband's personality, but you know how there's, like, 1-800 numbers on everything and emails that you're always like,
Yes.
"Who talks to the milk people?" So,
Yeah.
we've had, like oh my god, he had a Mutant Ninja Turtle thing that he lost one of their a scythe or a sword or whatever. I mean, listen, I
Hmm.
spent hours walking up and down our block, looking through the garbage pretending I was gonna
Yeah.
spot this thing, and but you can write all of these like, email all of these companies. They're pretty on top of getting back to you, and they usually
Okay.
just solve it by
Wow.
sending you shit.
I mean, all right. What's better than that? I had no idea.
I mean, you just have to be the person that does that, which is not me, but my husband will
Yeah.
do it.
No, and I'm sure that's why they send it back because they're like, only six of you do this. This is great.
Totally.
My wife is a like actual superhero. So my son has this lion stuffed animal that he's had since the day he was born. Like and it is tattered, beaten up. Like
Oh.
it looks like an AIDS quilt, but it's a stuffed animal. It's just so crazy. And I we went to medieval times once,
I
and
wanna
then
go
we
there so
left,
badly.
and he
Okay,
it's the best. Highly recommend birthday parties, even for
okay.
adults, like anything. And he left his
Oh, no.
lion there, and my wife drove all the way back to New Jersey because this is an heirloom at this point, and went through the stables, like everything in this whole place, and ended up they're like, "Did you lose a what did they call it?" They were like, "An alligator?" And my son was like, "No, a lion." And then they handed it to him, and my son was like, "You thought this was an alligator?" Like he like made fun of him immediately.
Okay, so we left one of my kids' stuffed animals, was a pancake, it's a pancake, in a diner upstate, and it's his most
Oof.
beloved, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I thought it was, like, 3rd
Mhm.
place in his lineup of stuffies, but all of a sudden, once it was gone, it
Yeah.
was like, "But the pancake? There's pan" So, I
Right.
called the diner, there's a woman there, she goes, "Did he leave a pancake with a butter nose?" I was like, "Yep." And she was like, "No problem," and she went to the post office and mailed it to me, and I just remember in other
Wow.
places, going to the post office isn't it like a horrendous two-day-long task where you are,
Right,
like,
right.
standing in line and battered by everyone working there?
Yeah, it's actually kind of a pleasant experience. That's amazing, though. You gotta love people that go
But
the
I
extra
do feel
mile.
like there is something about a kid and a stuffy that in our world,
Yes.
that is a bond you do not fuck with.
Yeah, no, I tell you, it's one of the few things that really captures the hearts of
Yeah,
Americans.
I don't know how that works. So, speaking of how things work, you go on the road. I looked at your calendar before we hopped on. It's pretty
Yeah,
robust, my friend.
yeah,
So, how
yeah.
are and I believe your wife has her own business. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she's a floral designer, Buds of Brooklyn, so they do major events like weddings, corporate events, things like that. She's a former fashion
Oh,
designer,
amazing.
so they took that, started their own business, and basically created, like, elevated flowers to
Yeah.
fit, like, really, I mean, she's unbelievably talented, my wife, it's crazy. I She did my buddy's I officiated my
Nice.
friend's wedding, and it was the first time I got to in a while, I got to see her, like, because she did the flowers, so she set up the whole thing. They had, like, these installments of hanging florals that looked like cirrus clouds, and, like, it just she turned it into, like, this magical, overgrown, but somehow perfectly place. And I walked in and I was just like, this is unbelievable. I'm like blown
Wow,
away by just
gorgeous.
how talented. Yeah. And so she has a partner. Her partner also worked in fashion, and she's from England. And so it's not easy, by all means, the schedule shifting.
Yeah,
It's like a constant Tetris thing and moving around. And the fact that we live near family certainly
okay.
helps, but we also have a fair amount of outsourced, you know, childcare, which is, my son went to the same pre-K as my
Holy
wife went
shit.
to. So it's yeah, because we're in our hometown, and it's like 19 miles outside of the city. So what I grew up hating, because everybody
Yep,
hates their hometown, I guess, or
I
at least
did.
I did. I rebelled against it and thought it was a bullshit place and blah blah blah. Story as old as time. But then you get older, and I lived in the city, and then COVID kicked us out. Like, we left the city because the Bloods moved onto my
Yep.
front stoop during the pandemic. And then we lived with my in-laws, and my I got to see my son with space and all that shit, and I was like, I can't take this away from him now. And now we live in this area, and I'm like, turns out this is a pretty ideal place to grow
Yeah.
up. It's really something. And the village thing is like, I don't think a lot of people get that. And I'm so grateful that we have our village, our family, and these people that are willing to help and love our sons so much that they're a part of their lives in a
Yeah.
consistent way. And also, I mean, my wife's Italian family are hilarious. They're out of their minds, so they don't necessarily share the exact same principles as us when it comes to parenting and kids and all that. But I think a diversity of ideas is kind of an important thing for a kid to witness
Oh,
growing
yeah,
up too.
I
Whereas,
think,
like,
like, in the suburbs,
you
that's
know,
the fear. The people are always like, "Oh, but in the suburbs, like, at least in the city, they're gonna get this huge diversity of different ideas and things and people." But I'm
yeah,
I'm always like, I think that's an outdated idea. I live in the city, but I
I
I
do,
I'm
yeah,
always critical of it.
totally. And I think, city public schools, I have no idea, but I
Terrible.
know private schools are really, yeah, I can't imagine. That was also part of the motivation to leave the area I was in, just because it's like I can't afford charter school or private
Oh
school
my
or
god.
anything like that. So I have to move to a place that has really good public school resources. And if I'm going to pay more in rent, at least it's not $40,000 more a semester
I
in
know.
rent.
There's a school near me that is $62,000 a year. I think that's the base price, and that would be for kindergarten. Like, it's and
Yeah.
I was saying that to this person, someone I barely knew, and they were like, "For $62,000 a year, my kid has no toys. They make toys. They never complain. They only find solutions." Like, you would have a lot of expectations wrapped up
For
in that.
real. For real. I mean, my sister, they live a little bit upstate, and her daughter is in, like, a really cool pre-K program. And I don't know if it's Montessori exactly or it's something else. It's one of
Yeah.
those cults. But
Hilltop,
but
nature
it's like
walk.
this. Yeah, it's like, but it's an outdoor school, and like, they exist outside in the winter, and they bundle up and they learn skills, and it's all this stuff. And that to me feels like a worthwhile way to spend money. And it's not 40,000 or whatever it is. It's private school, but
It's
it's
upstate, so it's like a
it's
different kind of yeah.
exactly. But I mean, kind of now all the city people are now pushing the
I
price up because
know.
they moved there in a fear or in 2020. But it like that to me seems worthwhile. The idea that I would pay for a school that a lot of those schools don't even have great education. It's just a really good place to get Percocet. And it's like what are we doing here? Like we're just getting an easy path through the system to hopefully get to a college that I will also have to spend exorbitantly out of pocket for, that will become outdated to the point when they graduate
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
have to get another degree to get any kind of job. And it's like
Oh, no, that's
the
all being
line of
dismantled. That
money.
is, like, all in front of our
Yeah.
eyes. In front of our eyes. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
We always go like, "Oh, what is" when people are like, "Oh, my son has said because he's just parroting something else. He's like, "I wanna go to Yale." And I was like, "Yale will not exist." But
Yeah.
I like that you're thinking that way. Okay, so because you
Yeah.
have this idyllic life that I aspire to, I pretty much because you know what? The thing you're talking about with the community is something I thought would happen in New York because we're all so dense, but is so hard here because
Totally.
people are overprogrammed and over everyone's work schedules are crazy intense. And
Yeah.
and they're just like, I just gotta deal with my own shit. Like people can barely think outside
Mhm.
of that.
100%.
And,
Yeah.
I was thinking after I saw this on, I think your page, or maybe you mentioned it, and you mentioned earlier that you installed, question mark, a cold plunge bath in your backyard. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I did. Well, that was part of the so I've been without a therapist for a bunch of years. And I've always been kind of on the lookout passively for a new one, but not really like I still was employing just the tools from my old one and I thought I was doing pretty good. My wife and I have a really great communicative relationship together where if things are going bad, like if one of us is holding shit in, we can kind of tell and we really revisit and make sure that we're hearing each other out. Like that was a therapy
Yeah.
must that we not fixed, but at least installed into our relationship. And then over the last year, when things were really like speeding up in terms of just, tough time, emotional turmoil, all that stuff, I really was in an active pursuit of a therapist, called maybe 35, 40 of them in my area, none of which had any availability in
Oh my
person.
god.
I can't
No.
do Zoom. It doesn't that to me is like it defeats the purpose for me. For other people, if you can make that work, that's awesome. But I'm an energy exchange guy. I mean, we do comedy. Our literal job is an energy exchange, and I need to feel as though you're in the room with me and taking in what I'm saying and actually
Oh,
give a
I'm with
shit
you. And
and all
I
that,
I I float off in Zoom sessions like that. I literally float off.
Same. So I couldn't do that. So I put my name on a few waiting lists, none of which
Oh
have
my
gotten
god,
back to me.
so
And
fucking sad.
and in I know. And my friend started a cold plunge apparel line called Arctic Short. So he got really into it, and I always looked at it as like kind of a chud Joe Rogan, like whatever. These guys fucking,
Yeah.
this is alpha shit. It's not for me. Like I'm not one of these dudes that gets in there and like then gets out and just starts like swinging an axe at something. I'm dainty. So but he was like, "Hey, do you want to film a video for me for the shorts?" And I was like, "Great, I'll do it." Did it, did cold plunge once, came out, and I mean, I have never felt that much of a like boost in positivity, like an instant positivity since I was a kid. Like since I had that ability to be like, "This is the greatest day ever," and
Yeah.
like out of nowhere, you can kind of conjure that. But it just like it was this boom of feeling and just me being present outside of my brain and in the world. And I just kind of fell in love with it and then got like one of those beginner inflatable tanks that I would fill and then clean out every 7 days and fill and clean out. I did it through the winter where I was breaking through like
Oh my
6 inches of
yes,
ice.
yes, yes.
I mean, it was like it's one of those things where I couldn't find a therapist, so I got a cold plunge. It's the most
I
Irish
love it.
shit of all
I mean,
time.
I've gone
Where
twice in, like, a thing where you go to a hot tub and then you do the cold plunge, and I can stay in for, like, 10
yeah.
seconds, seriously, before my ankles
Yeah,
start
yeah.
to, like, really hurt, but I
Yes.
do love it.
Yeah, it is single-handed like, I don't understand any of the science behind it. So whenever I watch like a Rogan or a Huberman or any of those dudes who really know what they're talking about when it comes to this, and they're like, your cells expand and it helps
Yeah.
dump this and your testosterone and blah blah blah. It's like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to kill myself. So that's super cool. And also, and I guess it is raising testosterone because in the morning I'm back to being 17. So that's great. But also tough when you have kids
Yeah,
jumping into
right.
bed with you. But but in general, it's like it's been such a mental health boom for me and a help that I hope that it's just something I continue
Yeah,
doing
and guess how
forever.
much it cost? I mean, after the thing, it's just water and ice. Okay,
Yeah,
that's it. How long just tell me, how long do you
that's it.
stay in?
I've been doing 4 minutes lately. Yeah. So I started with like, easy, just jump in, jump out if I felt it. But then once it got into the ice, I'd really like kind of breathe and try to stay in for a minute. And then I was doing 2 minutes, and then I was doing 3 minutes in the full ice. And then I like broke my cold plunge by accident. I was knocking ice off the side of it and put a fucking
Oh,
hammer through it. And the mental and emotional deterioration was almost immediately. So it's either a placebo or it's really working. Either way, it's something
I
that I
believe in it.
require. So I know now, since I patched it and I got the whole thing back up and running, it's like I'm back to being who I am and I'm present and I'm out of my head. I'm not checking comments as much. I'm
No
like just
comments,
more
that's right.
out in
If
the
you want
world.
to improve your life, cold plunge, it stops you reading comments. That would be it.
For real, I think it does.
'Cause you're like,
I think it
"Why?
does because
Why?"
yeah, and I don't know, I still battle with, like, not stage fright, but, like, really hardcore post or pre-show anxiety. Like, sometimes to the point where it makes me not wanna even do it, where it's like, I don't wanna do this, like, I'd rather go home. But I've employed the other day, it, like, dawned on me, I'm like, "Wait, I slow my breathing down every day." In the cold. Like I never even thought of this. I'm so stupid. But I was like, take a breath as it pretend you're in ice water. Pretend. And I did it and I slowed myself down in the exact same way I do in icy water. And in a minute I was like Leo in The Departed, your hand is still. Like I was just totally fine.
Oh my god. Okay, now I'm gonna go cold. I want a cold plunge more. See, it makes you a better parent. Makes you a because you
I
have to
think
be
so.
zen with these little kids. I mean, that's my feeling.
Yeah.
I don't care anything about, like, gentle parenting, this, this, this. I do think all I
Hmm.
wanna do and you mentioned it earlier, which is my same thing, is just don't yell. I don't want a yelly house. I grew up in a
Yeah.
yelly house, and it's not good.
Me
It
too.
did not work out.
No, me too. I just know, listen, it might get the desired response or behavior in the moment, but just understand you're sending them on a long path of self-discovery. Every like truly, you're really like, I think Louis may have had an old joke about this, but he was saying like, yeah, hitting your kid works, and then later they need to be choked
Right.
to come.
Right. So
It's like you're gonna, yeah, they'll behave in that moment, but you have no idea what else you're
oh, yeah.
doing.
No, anytime someone's like, "Well, you're gonna have to pay for that therapy later," it's like, I hear
Yeah,
what you're saying, but also I don't have to pay for the therapy later because we can just, like, minimize a little bit of this now. So,
yeah, we can just be
you're
frustrated.
allowed.
Like you can just exist frustrated sometimes and understand that humanity is frustrating and you don't require an instant fix to every situation. You can't beat a solution into
No,
your
no, and
child.
you can't Amazon it either. That's the real lesson
No,
we're working on. It's like, yeah, anytime
100%.
my son is just like, "Well, just Amazon it." I'm like, "Okay, not sure what happened
Yep.
there." But anyways, for another time. Thank you, Mike. You're the best. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. This
Everyone check out his Existential Dad series on YouTube. You're continuing that, I take it? It's
It's
coming
coming
back?
back
Okay,
too. I'm gonna do
great.
more
I
of those.
love them,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of, user-based advice and questions from dads who clearly need to be asked how they're doing.
Yeah, very much so. I know. These sweet
And
guys.
then see him live if you can. All the dates are at Mike Cannon Comedy. Follow him. Do you prefer Instagram the most? Is that your favorite, or do you like the
Yeah, I think Instagram. If you're a parent, please
Yeah,
come
come
out
out
to
to shows,
shows for both
seriously.
Ophira and
Seriously.
I. We require your existence in the room because whenever a parent comes up to me after and is like, dude, like there's
I
nothing
hear you.
that makes you feel, I feel the best because you give them they feel seen for the first time. They feel I like my parenting stuff is pretty out of pocket on stage. Like I intentionally am doing like really dark, irreverent stuff
Love it.
around my kid because I think that's also like authentically that's where my mind goes. So I want to give a voice to people that kind of think like that while also like, and
Well,
how are
and it's
you
the
doing? Like it's
catharsis.
it's a
It's
weird
the
dichotomy.
catharsis and, like, the underlying things we don't have to go like, "No, no, no, but I really do love him." Like, it's just the catharsis.
Yes,
No, you're right, and I did have a
100%.
friend who has a husband, and she was like, "I don't know, like, I have to get a babysitter to come out to you." And I was like, "Can't your husband look after the kid?" And she was like, "Oh, yeah."
That's crazy.
So anyways, come out, everybody. Come out. My Canon Comedy for dates, or you can see us at the clubs in New York all the time. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you.